the first line of Quran, that is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. That translates to in the name of Allah, the most compassionate we begin. Uh, could you, if it is wrong translation, could you please tell the correct translation?
Yeah, it's. I don't think you have the correct translation. What translation are you looking at, or where is your source?
Actually, it's a website, the website of Quran.
What is the website?
Just a minute, Quran.com it says.
And it doesn't translate it to the most compassionate, most merciful, or most gracious, most merciful,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
most.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I have in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, most merciful. That's what I am saying.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. What's you're good.
Okay,
Carry on.
so in in one in the Quran, it is mentioned 114 times in every surah except the Surah Tawbah. And
Okay.
my question is, which Allah is this Allah referring to? If Quran is written by Allah Himself, then why is He referring to some other Allah? And if you say that actually Allah is teaching how to speak about this, how to how to pray to Him, then why the Quran is only written in Arabic? Then why it isn't written in such a language which everybody can understand?
So if I'm
What?
understanding your
Okay.
question correctly, you're wondering why the Quran was revealed in Arabic, and you feel that it's not okay. It should be written in some other language. Is that what you're saying?
No, my question is actually uh, the the Quran is written by Allah, and Allah Himself is starting from the name of Allah. Now, from which Allah's name is Allah starting?
His own name.
Huh?
Why is Allah starting with His own name?
What do you mean? Why? Like I don't understand. What are you saying? See, so
I think
go ahead. If you
I
understand
think
what
he's
he's,
saying this. Okay,
go ahead.
like, and you can let me. He can let me know if I'm wrong. I think he's saying if of himself in the third person. Why is he the
Actually,
author, the one who's
yes, yes,
speaking, saying
he
in
is
the name
writing
of
in third
God,
person.
in the
Why
name of
third
Allah?
person? You are right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, brother, when you teach a little child, how do you teach them? I don't know if you have got any kids.
When we teach a little child, we don't say about ourselves. I think
Yes, sometimes you do. Haven't you heard like mothers or fathers whenever they're teaching little kids and they say mommy is gonna go do this or daddy is gonna do this. So what you have
here
to
actually,
understand
here
when,
actually,
when,
this
let
isn't the
me- may,
context. The context is
may I
something else.
may I complete first, please? Okay. So
Okay,
you have to
sure,
understand that the Quran is a book that actually recounts stories from the past. At the same time, it is warning you about your future, and it is actually teaching you how to pray as well. We've got prayers in there as well that we recite. Okay, so there are different pronouns that are used throughout the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers to himself by huwa, which is like he in English, right? Anta, which is you in so he would be a second person. You would be Ikhwan, help me
Nahnu,
out.
nahnu.
He would be second person, right?
Mhm.
Am I tripping?
They say inna.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
and then you, Anta, which is a second person. Sorry, he would be third person. My apologies. He would be in English, right? He would be third person, which is huwa in Arabic, right? Then you've got you, which is second person, Anta, right? And then you have Ana, which is I, first person. Then he uses we, Nahnu, which is also first person plural. Now, each one of them, if you actually look at it in its context,
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How's everyone?
How are you doing? Perfect
Alhamdulillah.
person to actually
Alhamdulillah.
respond to that. But so whenever he's referring to himself in the third person as he's being formal, right? He's like distancing himself from a group. So if you actually look at the context, the surrounding context, whenever he uses huwa, he's like trying to be formal. Whenever he's using anta, which is the second person singular, right? He's showing us how to pray, for instance, to get closer to him, right? Whenever he uses ana, right, which is the first person singular, he's displaying extreme love or extreme compassion, or in some cases anger as well, right? And when he's using nahnu, the first person plural, he's trying to display his might or his power. But we've got the perfect person on stage. He will actually add to it, inshallah. Take it away.
Yeah, go ahead, brother Masood.
What's the guest's name that we're speaking to?
His name is Human. He didn't want to identify.
Okay. So before we just delve into the question more in detail, what already Brother Fawad had mentioned, what is your background in terms of your religious belief? Do you believe in a God, a creator? Do you believe in some kind of religion? So at least it will help me to understand the perspective where I need to come from.
Well, I do believe in religion, not specifically religion. I believe in God, but not in religion. I don't think any religion can describe God properly.
Can God
Currently, at
describe him
least.
properly?
Sorry?
Can God describe him properly?
God can describe himself properly. Okay, fine. That is true.
That's good. So God describes him properly in which language? The language that we speak, or the language that he speaks with the angels and so on?
Okay, the language we speak. Okay.
Okay, fine. So in the Arabic language, God decided to describe himself. And the Arabic language has certain nuances, characteristics, ways, and styles. The language has its own forms of how communication is carried out. So we have to understand from that perspective, rather than judging with our Hindi or Urdu or Bangla or English. We have to take that into context. Do you agree?
Actually, I have a counter question for this.
So you don't agree?
No, I don't agree with this.
Okay, so why don't you agree?
See, if Allah is teaching us how to do these prayers, then did he also teach Arabic to the people? Did he also taught Alif Be Hazam? And if he didn't, then isn't it unjust to the people who don't know Arabic, or the people who weren't even aware of this language?
Okay, let's break this down slowly, step by step. I am speaking to you in Chinese or in English?
English.
English. So when I'm speaking to you in English, I have to speak to you in a way where English language allows the meaning from me transferred to you. So I am the sender of information to you, who you are the recipient, and vice versa. There's a communication happening between you and me. That communication needs to be understood in the medium that we are discussing with, which happens to be in the English language. So I cannot use the grammar, for example, of Chinese in describing you what I'm talking to you about in English. I cannot transpose the Chinese grammar or even say the Bengali grammar while I'm speaking to you in English. Do you agree or disagree?
Actually, I disagree with this also.
Okay, tell me why you disagree. So I have to now speak to you in Bangla grammar. So in Bangla grammar, for example, so there are things in English sentences. For example, if I say, I am eating food, right? I am eating food. First of all, this sentence has a specific grammatical structure. Would you mind telling me what that grammatical structure is? Then I can help you to understand how Bangla is not going to be applicable here in the same grammatical structure. Lay out to me, I am eating food. What are the grammatical form of the structure? Go on. Let's learn some grammar first. Let's learn some about communication and language, and then we'll talk about whether you agree or disagree.
Could you please return back to my question? Because I don't
I am
think this
answering your
needs to be
question,
that.
and the way I'm answering your question is this, human. I'm trying to make you understand that your question was a very loaded question, which has nothing to do with your sincerity of seeking the truth. So I'm going to expose to you one by one the importance of having sincerity in any communication and any discourse and any discussion, and the importance of having love for the truth. If these two elements are missing, it's all just simply an ego game. You are here to show something that Islam is not true, whatever, based nothing on sincerity and nothing on truth, but based on simply your ego. Something that you hate about Islam, you dislike about Islam, and that's why you're asking this question without even understanding the issue. So let's now turn to the question. I am eating food. Do you know the English grammatical structure, or do you not? I can help you if you don't.
Well, I don't.
You don't.
I don't know
Okay.
properly. So please
Right.
tell me.
Right. So because you don't, then it'll be very difficult to communicate to you anything about any language. You're speaking a language, you don't even understand how to explain to it the grammatical structure. When we are talking about communication from God in the Arabic language, this also has certain rules of language, how communication is carried out in that particular language. If you don't understand the structure of the language, then you will not be able to understand the communication. So that's what I'm getting you at. You are questioning about why does God speak in a certain way? And this certain way is alien or different to you because you are comparing and contrasting this with your Urdu or Hindi or Punjabi grammar. And that's where the problem is. You need to come out of this box of, I am going to judge everything by the Punjabi grammar, the Gujarati grammar, and so on. No, it's not going to happen because it's a different language altogether. And you keep on saying, I disagree. That means you have nothing actually of a substance to talk about because you don't even know the very basis of communication. Do you follow it so far? I'm sure you will say, no, I don't, and I disagree.
I think you are going away from the question.
I am not
more
going
than-
away. I am specifically addressing your point, which is rooted in the structure of language. Now tell me, in any language, why do we need grammar?
Of course, for proper communication.
No, why is grammar needed? Grammar. What is grammar?
Basically, to understand.
Vyakaran. What is grammar? Nahu.
Basically, it is to understand, na?
No. What is grammar of a language? Come on, man, Google it. That's what people do, right? The people who come on the stream, their only knowledge is the Google knowledge, Google Scholar. Yeah? Sheikh Google. So why do we need grammar in any language?
No,
What
it's
does grammar
kind
do?
It is kind of a rule of language which allows us to
Rules.
talk properly.
Right. Got you now. You've got it. Language has certain rules. Now, how much are you familiar with the Arabic language and the rules of Arabic language?
None.
None. Then that's where the problem is, maybe. If you want to ask a question based on the language itself, why does God speak in certain way, not in a different way which you imagine it to be, then you have to have a basic understanding of the rules of that language.
You are misinterpreting my question. That is not even my question. I am not saying why God is speaking
Brother
in
Mansoor,
this
can I
other
ask you
language.
real quick? It's very simple. What language would you have it be revealed in if this was revealed to an Arab man who is surrounded by Arab speakers? What language would you think?
My question is, why did God only reveal to a specific group of people which
He did not.
Okay. So let's address this point.
see, basically wait
So
a minute,
no,
let me complete.
we have heard your question.
No, this is
Before,
not my question. Let me complete. You are not
you
even
haven't
letting me
finished your
complete.
question. Okay, go ahead then. Finish your question.
We had
Sorry.
3 questions melded in one, unfortunately.
Sorry. Apologies. You still have your question not asked. So unless, how can we answer a question which you haven't even asked? Go ahead.
See, my question is that why was it revealed to one person in a language which was only spoken by a few people? At that time, Arabic speakers were way less than compared to English or some other language. Why only Arabic? Isn't this injustice to other language speakers?
Okay, let's understand it first of all. So God communicated his final revelation to a according to you, a small group of people, and it's
Not
unfair.
small group of people, not small group of people. A person which is Muhammad, and he then communicated to other people. Okay, and they were a small group of people which who understood Arabic.
Sure. So, can I ask you, in your understanding, since when in history God has spoken with a universal language that every people understood? Since when? Give me the example of that religion or that language or that communication from God that he has exactly what you demand of him. He has done that. And then we will talk. So,
I think
where in
Sanskrit
history?
was the language.
Sorry?
Sanskrit was the language which was the oldest language.
No,
And when
I don't
this
understand
language,
Sanskrit. So, is it fair for God to speak in Sanskrit?
could you please let me complete?
No. Could you answer the question? Then I'll let you complete.
Yeah, I can
You,
answer. Yeah, I can
yeah.
answer this question.
No. So,
See, when
firstly, wait, slow down. I asked you a specific question. Tell me in history ever that God has spoken in a language which is universal, that every human being on planet Earth or any other planets, if they were there, they have understood that communication.
well,
Everyone.
that does makes God unjust, isn't it?
No. You answer me the question. Since when in human history God has spoken in a universally one language that every single human being that existed on this planet or anywhere else in this cosmos, they understood that one human language, one language that God spoke in?
Actually, Sanskrit. At that time, Sanskrit was being spoken. Only Sanskrit was the language, which was the recorded language.
Wait. So Sanskrit is that divine language that God spoke in, and every
God
other
didn't
human being,
Sanskrit.
every
God
other
didn't spoke in
human
Sanskrit.
being understood that language, right?
No, God didn't spoke in Sanskrit. First of all, God didn't spoke himself. He didn't came and spoke himself.
Did God communicate to humans?
God communicated to humans, but not in such a way.
Wait. Did God communicate in language?
God didn't communicate it through languages. No,
So
it
how did
didn't.
God communicate?
See, God, how did God communicate? This is my question to you. You will tell
No,
me how God
you are
communicates.
coming up with such a belief system. The onus is on you now to explain your belief. How did God communicate to humans?
Well, I don't think he communicated actually.
Oh, now you're saying he didn't communicate. Right. So God didn't communicate. So there is no communication from God. Yeah? Ever.
No, there isn't.
Okay. So how do people know about God? If God didn't communicate, are you saying people just speculated about God? Is this what you think
Actually,
is fair? Is this what
actually,
you think is fair? God doesn't communicate about himself, why he created human beings, what's going to be their purpose here, what they have to do to achieve salvation, moksha, nirvana, whatever you want to believe in. What's going to happen to him after they die? Is there going to be a life cycle, death and life and death and life, rebirth and reincarnation? Or is it going to be one life and that's it and they'll be resurrected? Or is there going to be, that's it, they die and there's no more, like many pagans believed? All of this, if God did not communicate, then how did human beings know about what God wants us from us, why he created us
let,
for?
let me get back to the question. My question was, why did Allah revealed in
Stop,
Arabic
stop, stop,
only,
stop,
which is
stop,
unjust
stop,
to people?
human,
Don't ask me
human,
questions. Don't
stop,
ask me questions.
human. You are now really cornered to show yourself that you are a sincere person. Yeah.
You are
So you need to
logical
come out of this
answering me.
corner. Wait,
Logical
you need
answering
to
me. You
come
are
out of
not
this
answering me. You are
corner
asking
and answer this
myself.
question. God did not communicate. This is your belief. So how did people know about God? Is it simply a matter of speculation? The people
More or less.
speculated.
See, I am taking two stands here right now. The second stand which I am taking, God is not communicating. It is because I want you to answer the question which you are
Come
not
on, we'll
answering
come
and
to
going
that
to
answer.
answer
Don't
it.
worry about it. You are a Sanatani, aren't you? Right?
No, I
Are
am
you,
not.
you're not Sanatani. Good. So you're not a Sanatani. So do you consider all the gods of the Sanatan Dharma, They're all false.
See, I only
Wait,
consider
wait,
in one
wait,
God.
wait, human.
I only
Do you
consider in one God.
consider Ishwar, Bhagavan, Indra, Shurjo, Brahma, Vishnu, Saraswati,
No, I
Lakshmi,
don't.
Shiva,
I don't.
Krishna?
I
They are
don't.
all false.
I only believe in one God.
Do you consider they're all false? The ones I
Yes, I
mentioned.
consider all of them false. Yes, I consider all of them false. I believe only in one God.
Good, good, good. So this God, did this God ever communicate?
Yes, he communicated, but in my own
Slowly,
consciousness, he
slowly, slowly,
communicated.
slowly. So this God communicates through which way?
In my own consciousness, everybody in life goes through certain
Right.
situations
So in your consciousness,
in
tell
which
me
he
what
himself
is the communication that this God communicated to your consciousness? Is this God one who has a son and a daughter and a brother?
no, it isn't.
Okay. So what did this God communicate to you then in your consciousness? What is his nature?
Well, if you will give me 1 minute, then I will tell you. Now you are again and again asking me.
Go ahead. You got 1 minute. You've asked for it.
See, everybody when goes through certain situations in life, he himself feels when a difficult situation comes, he himself question why is all this happening, and this why comes from God. It is a question that God is presenting to us so that we believe or understand Him.
Okay.
Maurice, brother Maurice, sorry. Only 11 seconds gone. So he's got 1 minute to explain
Okay. Oh,
the
yeah, you're
question.
right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Let him continue.
Let us
No,
know
I
when you're
think I have completed. I have completed. You can
okay.
now continue.
Okay.
Brother,
So
if I
I
may,
asked you what was the nature of this God, and what was your answer?
My nature of this God is He is supreme. He knows everything. He is only one.
But you just adding this now. You didn't say that before
No,
in 15 seconds that you had your time. You're now adding.
I
So
had
before you add
you.
anything, look, I'm gonna reset my clock, start again. You've got 1 minute to explain to me the nature of God that God communicated in your conscious. Go ahead.
Well, actually, this was not my question, and you are making me answer your
okay.
questions. But okay,
Brother Mansoor,
fascinating
if
you.
I may, just really briefly. Okay, human. So God communicated to you, right?
Yes,
Okay. What language do you dream in?
I don't dream in a language. I think
Okay, when you're in your dreams and you're speaking to somebody, what language is it? It's certainly not English, right?
it's certainly the language which I speak.
What language is that?
I speak English. I understand English.
No, but I'm saying what is your native tongue?
Why does it matter? He speaks
It
in the
matters
language I
because
understand.
it matters
He
because
speaks in the
your
language.
consciousness is speaking in your native tongue. Now I'm going to take your position and I'm going to say it's not fair for you to be receiving it in your language when I don't understand that language.
Well, that is the point I am telling you. Allah only revealed in Urdu, or sorry, Arabic. But
Oh, in
the
Urdu.
but
So Urdu is your native tongue. So you're dreaming in
sorry,
Urdu,
Arabic.
you're receiving revelation in Urdu, right? But I don't understand it now because I don't
May
speak
I
Urdu.
speak? May I speak?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
See, my question is why Allah revealed only in Arabic, and when everybody has his own consciousness, everybody has his own mind, everybody has his own language, and if he is revealing, he can reveal in
Yeah,
everybody's consciousness. Then why
absolutely.
only one person?
Absolutely. He can reveal himself to everybody all at the same time in their own languages, but he chose not to.
Then
Why?
why?
Because it would be
Because
incredibly
You know what,
because okay,
Morris?
imagine if everybody all of a sudden woke up in the morning and said, I'm hearing voices. Just imagine. Everybody would be in the loony bin.
don't you think that it is possible
No,
for
Morris. I
Allah
haven't.
to
I've
not
so
not
human,
get that thought?
human, human. I have a question for you, right? Do you speak more than one language?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Is one of those languages Urdu?
Yeah, it is.
Why did God give you the ability to make you speak Urdu, but I can't? speak Urdu? Why did God make you speak Urdu and not me? Why couldn't
God didn't
why
give
couldn't
me the
God just give
ability.
us all one language? No,
God didn't
would you
created any
say
language, right?
that God, one second, would you say that if something, you say you believe in one God, right? Would you say that nothing happens that God himself did not give permission to happen? Would you say that?
Sorry.
Would you say that if God, nothing would happen that God would not let happen? Meaning, if God did not want something to happen, it wouldn't happen. Would you say that?
No, I will not.
So if God does not, you believe that if God does not want something to happen, it could still happen?
Uh, Actually, I don't think that God interferes with what we do.
But you just said he reveals himself in
You
our
don't think
head.
God interferes with what we do?
So he's
That is
obviously
what he did now. That is what he did in. That is what he did according to Quran. He revealed in the head of Muhammad Sahab.
no.
No, 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 no,
Okay.
no, no, no,
I
no,
gotta
no,
I
no.
gotta let
Okay.
You
this guy
see,
go.
So,
We're gonna
so one
we're
second,
gonna
one
we're
second.
gonna let someone
Yeah.
else in. Everybody give your final
Yeah.
thought.
I mean, ultimately, I'll let I don't want to take too much time because Brother Mansour is gonna, take this home. But when we talk about language, when you say why does God, we need to avoid this. Why God does this? Because as humans, like he said earlier, we cannot get into the mind of God. That's one. Two, we have this understanding that God is, when the moment you say He's God, everything He does, it's for the best reasons. The moment you say God. So when we talk about, well, God, why this? Why this? Why this? It's not up to us to talk about people's intentions. As humans, we don't even know each other's intentions. How on earth do we think we can actually question God and say, well, why did God do this? Every single thing that he did, as far as why God chose to reveal the Quran in Arabic, it's for the best. I don't have to know
The
the
thing is,
specifics as to
I am not
why,
questioning
but
God.
one
I
thing I
am
do
questioning
understand,
the
do not
Quran.
interrupt, human, do not interrupt me. One thing to know is that everything that God does, when you say, well, I don't even care, you're asking about the Muslim paradigm, meaning you can leave your paradigm away from it. But when we talk about God, our understanding of God, everything that he does is for the best reasons. So the fact that he revealed the Quran to an illiterate man in the Arabian desert in the 7th century who speaks Arabic, it's for the best. Do I understand all the reasons why? No. But do I know and trust that God revealed it in the best way? Yes. That's all I have to say. Go ahead, Brother Mansour.
Well, do you think that God will want
May I add
us
something in
or
there? Human, with all due respect, I've been quiet listening, to this entire conversation. Let me ask you a very simple question. My approach is very different. I like to, you know, get straight to the point. Is the Quran available today in Urdu for you to read? Yes or no?
I don't? Yes, it is.
Okay. Have you read it?
Well, more or less.
There you go. That's the problem. So why are you even complaining about it being revealed, even if it were revealed in your own language? It is available in your own language today, and you haven't read it. So what are you even complaining about?
What about the people
Forget,
in whose
forget,
language they are
forget
not
everybody else.
available?
I'm not. No, no. Wait, wait, wait. I'm not worried about everybody else. You and me were talking. I'm worried about you at the moment. Okay. It is available in a language for you to read today. Okay. You're talking to us from, I don't know, a phone or a computer, tablet, whatever. You have all kinds of apps available, and you can download the app within a matter of seconds. You can read it in your own language. You can go to any library. You can go to a bookstore. You can walk up to any mosque. You said you live in Pakistan. I don't know, maybe you're from India. You're hiding because you don't sound like you're from Pakistan. Either way, that's besides the point. You can walk up to any mosque. You can request, a copy in English, in Urdu, any of your native languages, right? Plus, is your salvation dependent on learning Arabic language? Yes or no?
Well, this is not a simple yes or no answer, but let me
It is a
complete
very
once
simple
again
yes
my
or no.
question.
If you don't know, say, I don't know. What do you Muslims believe? Have you ever asked any Muslims, what do we believe in
I have
Islam?
asked, but
Is
I have asked and they were saying me to ask you. That is why I'm
okay.
asking you.
Okay, so your salvation is not dependent on learning Arabic language.
No,
My
it
Arabic
isn't.
is very weak. Among all of the panelists, the only person that knows is fluent Arabic, I suppose, is Brother Mansoor. The rest of us, we don't know Arabic. My Arabic, I'm still learning. Okay? My salvation is not dependent on it. If I died tonight or tomorrow, God is not going to ask me, hey, why didn't you learn Arabic language? So all of these are just silly questions. There's this gotcha moment. Stop with this, man. You sound like a grown-up person. Please.
Okay,
Could you
so
please give
let's
me
answer
one
him
question?
anyway then. Okay, so let's answer your question if you really want to know. The reason why God revealed the Quran in the Arabic language, there is a huge significance in this. Okay, firstly, there's 3 points for you to understand. God in Islamic paradigm sends prophets and messengers to communicate to people, which is the infallible way. Every human being, the way your method or your model is that God speaks to them in their conscious, and then this will have really a problematic approach. Brother Muri's already pointed to you. People will come, oh, God spoke to me last night and he said this. They will know there will not be any way of justifying or proving or establishing whether this was a communication from a God or not. Okay, people come up with all these different kind of ideas, as they do today. As we hear them, they're coming up with all this, oh, God's spoken to them, and so on and so forth. So God in the Quran tells us that his various ways he communicates. He communicates people in their dreams. He communicates to people by sending prophets and messengers. He sends inspirations. He speaks to them behind a veil. There are several modes of communication. When it comes to giving guidance to human beings, these are different modes of communication. But one of the most infallible way of communication is through prophets and messengers who are given this message with evidence, with proof and evidence, so that they can communicate to people and people can know for sure that this is indeed from God. So you cannot quarrel, you cannot argue, you cannot just have a counter rebuttal and so on, because they bring proof and evidence of their communication from God. Now, if this is the case where God specifically chooses this method, then we need to look at God sends a message to the messenger or a prophet, Paigambar, Nabi, Rasul, right? So what language should that message be in? The Quran says he sends the message in the language of the messenger, language of the people, so that people may understand. So imagine now Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam received the Quran in Urdu. Neither would he have understood the message from God, neither would the people around him understand what this message from God is. So it only makes sense, human, that God sends a message in the language that people understand. Any message that is going to be for them, they should understand the message. The Arabs received in the Arabic language because that's the language that they will understand. The messenger, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was an Arab. So he received the Quran in the Arabic language. His people were speaking Arabic language. Okay, so that's the initial role of all the prophets and messengers. They received the message in their respective languages so that they could understand. Now, on top of that, why did God choose a prophet from Arabia and specifically Arabic language? Because he, in his wisdom, he wants to make his final revelation in such a way that this become itself within the language evidence for itself. So the language has to cater for the evidence for its message. So the Quran is an evidence in the language, that when the Quran says produce a chapter like unto it, or 10 chapters or a book line to it, it's demonstrating within the language of the Quran itself, in Arabic language, there is evidence that it is from a divine origin. It's from the divine, it's from the God, it's from the creator. So this language has been utilized by God to send the final communication with the proof and message within itself. Okay, it's inherent within the language of the message, and that's the important role the Arabic language played. There are many other reasons why the Quran is in Arabic, but for you, human, that should suffice in terms of answering your question, why so. Now, if you then say, okay, but I don't understand Arabic, no problem. You can understand the message of the Quran even in your own language, whether it be, Chinese or Indonesian or African, doesn't matter what language it is, you can still understand the message of the Quran. Because the Prophet ﷺ, as he explained, as the Quran has explained in Arabic, Muslims will explain to you in the languages of people. And that's one of the things that we do. We explain the Quran in the language people understand if they don't understand Arabic. This is something that you would know, like when the Quran says God is one and He is absolute, He is independent, He is self-sufficient, He doesn't depend on anyone or anything, He is everlasting with no end, He's first without a beginning. You would know what it means.
Listening to me and just
Excuse me,
going
I'm not
circle
finished
and
yet.
circle,
This
circle
is
and
something
circle.
human, be patient. This message of the Creator about Himself, you would understand it. Doesn't matter whatever language. I can talk to you in Bangla, I can talk to you in other languages, for example, if I'm able to, and I will explain to you the message that is entailed within this Quran, within the message of revelation. So it's not something that you have to learn Arabic to understand. Okay, learning Arabic will be good because you will know the direct message directly, because you don't need to get a translator, because translations of any message, you already lose some of the meanings. That means you need to have a lot more of translations, maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe 50 translation to understand the gist of it. But sometimes the core message is understood even with one translation. But to get the nuances, right? To understand, for example, to see what an onion is, there's several layers. Peel one layer, there's another layer. You can keep on peeling the layers, right? When you learn Arabic language, you have access to all the layers of the onion. But when this is translated, you may have 1 or 2 layers, right, of the onion. That's the difference. So you can still understand the message, but to understand the entirety of the nuances of what the message is about, that's why the primary language is very, very important. Okay, and any language that is translated, it is on the mercy of the translator who knows the primary language and the language he's translating or she's translating into. Okay, there's already a deficiency. That's why for yourself as a human, if you speak Urdu or Hindi or any other language, you can get copies of the Quran in multiple languages, even in one language, get multiple translation, and then you will see the meaning. The next question now is, having access to those translations, where and what is your difficulty in understanding the message? We want to ask you now, we want to question you. What message from the Quran, for example, you do not understand? Maybe we can tell you in the language that you understand. What is it that, tell me about something that you've read in your languages that you are familiar with that you do not know what it means. Because if you know what it means, then it's nothing to do with language, it's something else. What is it that you are unfamiliar in terms of understanding what it says? When the Quran says Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, are you saying I don't know what it means? Is that what your question is?
I am questioning the things which are written because they are not logical or scientific both.
Okay, stop slowly. So you are now judging a message or communication from the Creator, and you have 2 standards. It has to be logical and it has to be in line with science, right? Any other
But
criteria?
wait a minute.
So
Wait a
logic,
minute. Now give
science,
me 1 minute.
what other
First a
criteria?
minute. Give
Go
me
ahead.
1 minute, and I will come back to my first question. My first question was, why was Quran written in Arabic? And if he
We got
revealed it in
I have
Arabic,
answered
then
you already. So
gotta let
if you haven't been
Joe.
listening, I suggest what you do is, when this stream is over, go and listen to that section. Okay, I'm not going to repeat it.
you are
Okay,
not even listening.
I'm not going to be
You
very
are not even
charitable here with
listening,
you.
bro.
Human, I have answered the question. And your next question, do you have? Or he's
No, I took him down because he's
okay.
interrupting.
No
I'd
problem.
rather just let you finish for the benefit of the audience, inshallah, because he's just going in circles at this point for like 30 minutes.